What really happened behind the scenes with Jimmy Kimmel? Let's break it down. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Hey, we're live. We're going to have some debates with people attempting to change my mind on this Jimmy Kimmel issue. I do believe this is censorship from the Trump administration and the FCC, and I really don't like it. But I want to hear from you guys. A lot of my audience have been talking to me saying, Andy, no. Let's in honor of Charlie Kirk, let's have a discussion about it. Before we get to that discussion, I've been recapping what happened. We already played the clip, which if you missed, watch our video from last night, where you can watch the clip in question, where Kim, as I just played it, it's very clear he's saying that the MAGA organization was doing everything they could to distance themselves, to not call him a MAGA person. He in no way actually calls the guy a MAGA person. Now, some people are hearing that. Some people are misinterpreting that. Okay. But it's not what he actually said. It's not. And so, and as Kimmel has explained, we're going to go here. He was ready to come on tonight after some people were mishearing it to explain it, and they didn't let him. So here's what happened. For those of you unaware, he had a phone call Wednesday afternoon that his show was on hold by ABC. The person on the other end was Disney Entertainment co-chair Dana Walden. Now, Dana Walden's one of a few execs who are all vying to be the next Bob Iger. This is all his successor. Who's going to take over Disney? It's been a whole thing. Dana's one of them leading, and this is one of those hard jobs that I'm sure Bob was like, can you do it? Figure it out. And just hours before Kimmel would start to film his show, Disney's top exec had a thoughtful conversation with the comedian. This came after the decision was made by Walden and CEO Iger. Both sides were very businesslike and polite. Walden and Iger made the decision to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely to tamp down controversy after FCC chairman Brendan Carr called Kimmel's comments about Charlie Kirk's killer some of the sickest conduct possible. I'm sorry, excuse me? I heard way worse. The TMZ cheering was worse. There was a lot more worse. Anybody who was cheering his demise, amen, call him out. Amen, maybe even get fired. I'm all here for consequences. But what Kimmel said wasn't that bad. It wasn't funny. But maybe he could have used better wording. Fine, I'll give him that. But to indefinitely cancel him, that's not why they did it, Kim. They did it because Trump doesn't like him. Trump's already responded. We're going to get there in a second. Kimmel made it clear, though, he was unwilling to apologize for his remarks. Good job, Kimmel. I got to give him props. Own it. What do you got to apologize for? According to insiders, he was going to direct the focus on Trump's most fervent supporters who have been in uproar since Monday, and said the MAGA gang desperately is trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and will get everything and score as many political points from it. Again, you're hearing something in there that you're allowed to hear, but I'm telling you, as I read it, that's not calling him MAGA. It's saying MAGA was doing everything they could to distance themselves, which they were. Calling him liberal, calling him trans, not one of us. I'm praying he's not one of us. They were absolutely doing that. And so we hear he was planning to call some of these supporters out while clarifying his comments. It's unclear exactly which comments were considered inflammatory, but sources say the phrase "one of them" has been taken out of context. Disney felt that if he had doubled down, the company would have been forced to make a more drastic decision on Kimmel's future instead of the announced preemption. This is an important point that I think enough people are going to understand. Disney clearly didn't want to cancel him. Disney clearly didn't want to fire him, but Disney was then put in a pickle because broadcasters, due to the pressure of the FCC, were basically taking him off air. And now Disney's being pressured because, well, what are we going to do now that all these places are pulling him off the air? I imagine the call was like, dude, Jimmy, we don't agree. But if we don't, stomp this out now and you come out and get worse, it could be even worse for you, is what I think Disney was trying to get through to Jimmy based on these professional conversations. The company hopes Kimmel will be back on air soon. So clear again, they weren't firing him. All this idea that he was fired is false. But poor sources, Kimmel himself is unclear what he wants to do. There's a lot of thoughts now that are coming out that he's livid, Kim, that he's now wants to move over. He's going to do his first interview with Colbert, that he wants to get out of his contract now. He's extremely upset by the way ABC's handled, given how much of a company man he's been on this. And so all of that to me is pretty troubling. So here's where I get problem, where I think this is, I'm going to say it, censorship. Donald Trump says late night hosts biting jokes should factor into FCC licensing decisions. How are you okay with this? How are you okay with this? I'll agree. People make fun of Trump too much. I'm bored of the jokes. But my God, how big of a child is this man? Are you kidding me? So now jokes about a president should be considered whether they should keep their license. If you don't see what kind of slippery slope this is, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I'm passionate about this. What's it say, Kim, that we're not next? Once they get the FCC and all the broadcasts shut down, you don't think Trump or some other politician is going to try to clamp down the internet and the podcasts? It's only a matter of time, guys. F Kimmel. So many people are being so short-sighted on this and losing the big game, which is this is only going to get worse. We can't let any president or any group censor us like this. This wasn't something where he was celebrating Charlie Kirk's demise. This is absurd. Trump is telling reporters in Air Force One that the late night hosts, when you have a network and they have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, if you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something. All they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democratic Party. Now, one could argue, I agree with, okay, let's put more conservatives on TV then. Fine. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying they should lose their licenses. Now, he's referring to just important history, the fairness doctrine, which back in the day was to provide a mix of both points of view of major importance. But you know who abandoned that, Kim, in 1987? Ronald Reagan, conservative. You know why he lifted it, Kim? Because they ushered in a new era of partisan radio led by Rush Limbaugh. They ended it so they could do this. So this makes no sense to me. This makes no sense to me. I'm learning more and more about Brandon Carr, and it's upsetting me. And I want to have these conversations with you guys. But here's the lone Democrat left saying all these threats are empty. They don't actually have any authority to do what they're doing. This is all just media, politician play, etc. David Letterman reacted to saying you can't fire someone because you're trying to suck up to an authoritarian criminal administration. But he makes an even bigger point beyond the political stuff. He says, this is a guy who went after every president. He's made jokes about 6 presidents from Jimmy Carter through Obama, although laughed not so much about Carter. He was a sweet guy. The point is beating up these people rightly or wrongly, accurately or perhaps inaccurately in the name of comedy. Not once we were squeezed by anyone. Not once were we squeezed by anyone from any governmental agency, let alone the dreaded FCC. That FCC guy literally said, we can do this the easy way or the hard way on a podcast talking about this. Letterman said, who's hiring these goons? Mario Puzo, writer of The Godfather. It's starting to sound like that, Kim. I'm not going to lie. This scares me. Now, the Democrats are pushing back, saying that he needs to resign. He's overstepped. Here's Brendan Carr also. While Biden encouraged social media companies to censor Americans, President Trump is restoring our First Amendment rights. Now the UA is pressuring our tech companies to start censoring. It's important to push back. Really? I don't know if I believe you anymore. Should the government censor speech like it doesn't like? Of course not. The FCC does not have a roving mandate to police speech in the name of the public interest. Well, I guess unless you're Jimmy Kimmel. I guess it made only for Jimmy Kimmel. And I want to play Trump himself because I like this Trump. Hear this Trump out.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities.
I don't know about you guys, but hasn't sure looked like that of recently. In fact, here's Sinclair, the state broadcasters, saying it's not enough. They need to take more action to shut Kimmel down. This isn't the country I want to be in. This is scary to me as a broadcaster, as a journalist. This isn't okay. As soon as you take those freedoms away, yes, I understand there are consequences, but what Kimmel said, in my opinion, was not a celebration of Kirk's death, and too many people are politicizing it. It's not right. Elon Musk calling the Liberal Party the murder party. Everybody's getting too hot. We all need to tone down. And what Kimmel did, sure, let's hear from him. Let's see how he reacts. Let Kimmel get fired from the ratings. Let Kimmel get fired because no one's watching. Don't make him be a martyr now, because now he's going to be. He's not going to go back. He's going to go do something else. But this is a chilling effect when you let your government use the FCC to do this. And when you let the FCC, which is really what's happening here, if you really want to get to it, Nexstar, one of these syndication groups, it has a $6.2 billion takeover with rival broadcaster Tegna. It's already a controversial deal, which will combine two of the nation's largest owners of local TV stations, posing significant antitrust questions and need a close review by the FCC and its chairman, Brendan Carr. So interesting how maybe Nexstar was like, you know what? Let's throw a little bone to Brendan and Trump. Maybe that'll goose up the ability for us to sneak this one through. They did it to Paramount Plus. Trump got a $16 million payment to allow that to go through after they fired Colbert, did a lot, seemingly, allegedly. The timing of that seemed very too convenient. I'm sorry, this is shady. This is shady no matter what side you're on. And if you don't see this, if you can't call this out now, you aren't seeing the threat to democracy. This is not about liberal conservative. This is about right and wrong. And this is wrong. This is not what we stand for. I'm shocked to see how many people are celebrating this. Forget Kimmel. This is not the way, though. Roseanne shouldn't have been. Gina Carano shouldn't have been. I defended them all. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't do it now as well. So I want to hear you. We're going to debate this. I want to hear people calling in. What am I missing? People are saying, I'm lying to my audience. Okay, you're going to get the chance to call in and tell me why. The next amount of this time is going to be us debating that. If you want to watch the debate, you want to watch the rest of the show, become a member today. Go over to popcornplanet.com. You can subscribe it, sign up, watch the replays. It'll go up later tonight. I'm excited. We're going to be live. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. Let's get into this, Kim. I'm riled up. We're going to do this civilly. Let's get into it. And if you disagree with me, great. Can we still be civil about it? That's all I'm asking. Let's have this civil debate. Let's really think about this. Let's figure out what's really going on, and let's stop getting so hot.